Rabotai, we were speaking about the laws of brachot. It's very important that we remember some of the fundamentals. That we have to know that whenever you come to say a blessing, it's important to say a blessing. At the same time, it's also very important not to say a blessing if it's not the right time or it's not the right bracha. As we know that one of the 10 commandments is do not go and carry God's name in vain, which means, according to Rambam, every time a person says a blessing that he wasn't supposed to say, bracha levatala, a blessing in vain, he transgresses one of the 10 commandments. The Gemara says that when Hashem said this commandment not to say God's name in vain, the whole world shook. The whole world, Chas v'Shalom, will be destroyed if a person doesn't carry Hashem's name with respect. Just like you don't call your father and he says hello and you hang up, it's disrespectful. So too, you don't say Hashem's name for no reason if it's not the right time and it's not the right reason. If a person has to know, it's very, very hamor, it's very serious. The Gemara Masechet Shavuot says that it's considered one of the most punishable, most strictest, most punishable mitzvot in the Torah, that a person has to know, like Shabbat, or like a person has to know any negative commandment, like you're not eating Hametz and Pesach, or not eating Yom Kippur. It's up there in that category of those more severe transgressions of the Torah, to go and say Hashem's name in vain. That's why there's a rule in Halacha. Every time there's a doubt, some opinions say bracha, some opinions say don't say bracha. We always go strict, and we don't say a bracha. We don't want to say, according to some opinions, that I'm going to be saying a blessing in vain. Even though some opinions say you should say bracha, and if you don't say bracha, you're eating without a bracha. Better that I should go and do that than to say God's name in vain. That's how severe this prohibition is. So therefore, a person always has to pause and think and pay attention that he should say the bracha properly, and if this is the right time to say the bracha. A lot of times people read fast the words. A person, how does he count money? He counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He doesn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he mixes up. So too a person has to say Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam Shakol Niyeh B'Dvaro, not Buchta Melech Haolam. So a person has to swallow the words, and he's saying God's name in vain. Chas v'Shalom. So a person has to pay attention, go slow. This is one of the very big mitzvot in the Torah. So therefore, I'll give you an example. There's a mahloket, and because of this mahloket, we don't do it. For example, the person, let's say he ate mezonot, and he ate a lot of mezonot. So he's supposed to say Al Mechya. He has to say after bracha for mezonot called Al Mechya Mein Shalosh. So what does he do? Problem is, he doesn't have Sidur, he doesn't know by heart, Mein Shalosh. So he says, don't worry, we'll just say Borei Nefashot. I know Borei Nefashot by heart, so I'll say Borei Nefashot. Shakol, you could say on anything technically. So Borei Nefashot also you could say on anything also technically. So, but you should know, there is an opinion that says like that. Some want to say Ben Yonah says like that, but it's not a consensus opinion. Not everyone agrees you can say Borei Nefashot if you're supposed to say Al Mechya. So therefore, because of this, we say Safek Brachot Lakin. In a matter of doubt, you don't know what to do because some say yes, some say no. Better not to say. If you say Borei Nefashot, according to many opinions, blessing in vain. Blessing in vain. It's a very big sin. So therefore, you should go find somebody who can say bracha for you, or find a sidur so you can say Al Mechya, and you should not say Borei Nefashot just because you don't know how to say Al Mechya. It's very important that a person thinks twice before he says brachot. And we were saying the Gemara Masechet Gitin how Marta Bat Baitus, she was so the Jerusalem was getting sieged, it was getting surrounded by the Romans. So then she took all her money, threw it in the streets. She said, "What do I need all this money for? I can't eat the money. If there's no food, there's a famine. We're all going to die." Chas v'Shalom. So she threw all her money in the streets. So the Gemara says they didn't know what to do. They didn't have food. So Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai pretended that he died. They put him in a box in a coffin, and they took him outside. They said, "We're taking him to bury the rabbi in the Klad Mishon." So they led them out. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai went in hiding. He ran right away to the Roman general, Vespasian. He told him, "Listen, we have a problem. Our Jewish people, they're stuck. You're making a war against us. Let's talk." He says, "Why didn't you come to tell me until now? Or chutzpah. Why you wait only until now to speak to me?" He said, "No, now you're going to become a king." He says, "Not true. I'm not a king. I'm just a general." And that moment, they gave him a messenger came and he said the Roman Caesar died and Vespasian is going to become the king. So he said, "Wow, this rabbi is very smart. He sees the future." He says, "I give you a promise. I'll give you 3 things. What do you want?" So he says, "To give me Rabbi Gamliel and his family. Give me the yeshiva in Yavne. Let me build the yeshiva in the city of Yavne. And give me a doctor for Rabbi Tzadok." So I understand Rabbi Gamliel, he's from the family of King David. I understand the yeshiva. The Torah, if there's no Torah, Jewish people cannot exist. Why did he ask for a doctor for Rabbi Tzadok? Rabbi Tzadok was fasting 40 years that Beit HaMikdash should not be destroyed. and he couldn't eat food. They needed a doctor to give him, find a way for to help to be able to eat food. He wasn't eating food all 40 years. So how are they going to bring him back to eat normal? So they need a doctor. Why do you need to care? You have 3 wishes. Why are you asking for a doctor for Rabbi Tzadok? The commentaries say that in order to build the Jewish people after the destruction of Beit HaMikdash, we need Rabbi Tzadok, who was from previous generation. The younger generation needs to see the older generation and learn from them. So therefore, in this generation especially, we want to build the Beit HaMikdash. The younger kids need to learn to respect and to listen what the older people say, in order they should be able to build the Beit HaMikdash. Because if not, we're lost. We will make many mistakes. If we see the older generation, we will learn a lot of wisdom and we will die much better in much better place. Baruch